Portugal have the best midfield at this World Cup, one of the best defenses, two of the most dangerous wingers on the planet, and somehow they are going to fall short. But before we get to why, here are the teams that actually can. Spain. Bookmakers give Spain roughly an 18% chance of winning this tournament, and honestly, when you watch them play, it is not hard to see why. These are the reigning European champions. They went through qualifying without losing a single game, and at the heart of everything they do is an 18-year-old kid who looks like he has been playing at this level his whole life. That kid is Lamine Yamal. And here is the thing about Yamal. He tore his hamstring at Barcelona back in April, missed the rest of their season, missed every single pre-tournament friendly, and Spain's plan is to bring him back slowly through the group stage. 15 minutes in the opener, maybe 30 in Game 2. A potential start in Game 3 if everything goes well. They are literally managing the best player at this World Cup back from a 2-month injury on a minute-by-minute schedule. And the reason they are doing that rather than just leaving him home is because when Spain played with Iraq without him in a warm-up game, they drew. That is who Nico Williams is too, injured and recovering on the same timeline, and both of them pulling the strings behind Rodri in the middle, who by the way is still one of the best midfielders in the world, and Martin Zubimendi, who has been playing the best football of his career since joining Arsenal. The depth behind all of them is real. Pedri, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres, this team has quality everywhere. However, there's a problem that has followed Spain for 2 tournaments now. There is no reliable center forward. Morata is gone. Without Yamal and Williams at full speed, teams can just sit deep and dare Spain to break them down through the middle. And Spain have no real answer for that. A well-organized team sitting in 2 blocks, defending for their lives, that has beaten Spain before, and it will again if the wingers are not right. If Yamal is fully fit by the knockout rounds though, that problem mostly disappears. He creates space for everyone just by being on the pitch. And a Spain team with Yamal at full rhythm is the hardest team in this tournament to beat. France. Most countries wait 50 or 60 years for one golden generation. France are on their 3rd in a row, and this one might be the best yet. Kylian Mbappe leads the attack. He scored 42 goals for Real Madrid this season, and he is just 4 away from equaling the all-time World Cup scoring record. Playing alongside him is Ousmane Dembele, who won the Ballon d'Or last year, 35 goals and 14 assists in a single season at PSG, and then there is Michael Olise, who had 15 goals and 27 assists at Bayern Munich. Those 3 are the starting attack. Now, the players who cannot get into the 11 because of those 3 include Desire Doué, Rayan Cherki, Bradley Barcola, and Marcus Thuram. All 4 of them would walk into the starting lineup of almost every other team at this tournament. They're coming off the bench for France. Antoine Griezmann, one of the best players in the world for a decade, retired last year. Nobody really noticed. That is the sentence that tells you everything about how deep this squad goes. Didier Deschamps is managing this as his last tournament. He has been France's coach since 2012 and wants to become the first manager to win 2 World Cups since Italy's Vittorio Pozzo did it in 1934 and 1938. That is the personal motivation sitting in France's dugout for the next 6 weeks. The one weakness that keeps coming up is the fullbacks. They are not at the same level as the rest of the squad, and Camavinga was left out altogether after a poor season at Real Madrid. But when you have that much firepower going forward, the honest question is how much defending are you really doing anyway? Argentina. We all thought 2022 was the end of the story, right? Messi lifts the trophy in Qatar. The one thing missing from his career finally gets checked off, and that is it. Apparently not. He is 38 now and turns 39 during the knockout rounds, and his role has shifted to reflect that. He does not sprint anymore. He drifts, picks up the ball in pockets of space, and either scores or creates gaps that should not exist. He has played this way for 2 seasons, and it has worked. Julian Alvarez and Giuliano Simeone are both in excellent form at Atletico Madrid. Nico Paz had a brilliant season at Como and is one among the more exciting young players at this tournament. And Emiliano Martinez in goal is the best big-game goalkeeper in the world right now. The man wins penalty shootouts and gets inside strikers' heads before they even step up. The real question for Argentina is not Messi's age. The question is whether this group can recreate what the 2022 squad had between their ears. That team came back from losing to Saudi Arabia and won 6 straight games to lift the trophy. They were mentally unbreakable, and a huge part of that was Angel Di Maria, who scored in the Copa America final, in the Euros friendly, and in the World Cup final itself. He showed up every single time it mattered. He is retired now, and nobody in this squad fills that specific role he had. Whether Argentina can replicate 2022 without him is the only question that matters. Portugal. Here is the thing about Portugal. On paper, this is the best squad they have ever put together. Nations League champions, ranked 5th in the world, and a midfield that can genuinely control any game on the planet. Vitinha and João Neves in the middle, both from PSG, both Champions League winners this season. Bruno Fernandes behind the striker, the main creative force, the most important player in the team by some distance. Nuno Mendes at left back, arguably the best left back at this entire tournament. Ruben Dias anchoring the defense, Rafael Leao and Pedro Neto on the wings, two players who can take on any fullback in the world on a good day. On paper, this is a top 3 squad at this World Cup, maybe top 2. But here is the actual problem. When Cristiano Ronaldo plays, the whole system shifts. The team becomes cross-heavy. The wide players spend more time delivering balls into the box. The fluid, dynamic football that Bruno Fernandes runs so well gets compressed into a shape designed around one thing: getting the ball to Ronaldo in a position to score. Erik ten Hag said it publicly just weeks before the tournament. If Portugal really wants to win the World Cup, Martinez should build the team around Bruno Fernandes, not Ronaldo. That is one of the most respected coaches in the game saying out loud what Portuguese analysts have been writing for 2 years. And Ronaldo at 41 is not the same player he was at 31. He is still scoring a goal every 90 minutes in Saudi Arabia this season, but the Saudi Pro League is not a World Cup quarterfinal. The pressing lines, the defensive structure, the physical intensity of a knockout game against France or Spain, that is a completely different test. The worst part for Portugal is that everyone knows this. Martinez knows it, the players probably know it, but Martinez cannot bench him. Ronaldo is the captain. He is going to his 6th World Cup, a record no other player in history has reached. He is the emotional center of an entire nation's football identity. The political and emotional cost of starting him on the bench is not something a coach survives in Portugal. So he plays, and when he plays, Portugal are not the team their squad says they should be. They will get out of the group. They will beat the teams they are supposed to beat. And then at some point in the knockouts, against a team that presses high, blocks the cross, and makes Bruno Fernandes work in tight spaces, the rigidity around a 41-year-old's movement will cost them. It happened in 2022. Morocco beat them 1-0 in the quarterfinal. Ronaldo came off the bench. By that point, the system was already broken. The squad is extraordinary. The coach is capable. The draw is manageable. Portugal have every reason on paper to go all the way. They will not win it. Not because the players are not good enough, because the best version of this team is not the version that takes the field. These teams are walking into a World Cup that plays by a completely different rule book. New red cards, new VR powers, new countdown timers on every restart. If you have not seen what changed yet, that video is right here. Watch it before the tournament starts, because the first time a goalkeeper gets a corner awarded against them for wasting time, you will want to know why.